Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm working remote. Today's Monday, January 26th. I'm working remote because there's a winter storm going on, inclement of weather in Texas, and typically Texas goes crazy, schools close down, people do not go out. But today's Monday and I'm remote today, so I figured I could kill two birds with one stone. Almost lunchtime and I need to go to the post office to deliver my last batch of wedding invitations. So I wanted to share real quick how I designed my wedding invitations, and I DIY'd my wedding invitations because I wanted to save a little bit of money. I was not going to compromise on having actual paper invitations because there's just something about receiving a letter in the mail and opening it and boom, you have an invitation. Digital works, but that's just something that I was not going to compromise. So I was like, how can I do this? The best way was to DIY it, to do it myself. There is a lot of companies out there, or there are a lot of companies out there that do this for you, but I just opted to do it myself to save money. So I will try to show you how my actual invitations from Canva look like. I wanted to give botanical flowers. We're getting married at the botanical gardens, so I wanted to, it's a garden inspired wedding, so I wanted to incorporate that into the invitation but also keep it clean and simple. So that's pretty much what that looks like. And then initially I was just gonna put the invitation in the envelope, but my fiance wanted it to be juiced up more, so we kind of ended up just going with like a vellum jacket and then putting a seal on there and putting a dried baby breath on there. So that's kind of like what it looks like. That way people can go through the experience of opening it and doing all of that. I pretty much bought a stamp on Amazon that has our name and our address on there, so to have a return address. But this was like, I don't know how much, I'll attach the details, but I want to say it was about 30 bucks on Amazon. And then I bought a wax seal stamp so I could actually stamp some, not wax, but it's actually like hot glue. And then I put some flowers on the back, and then I just seal it with the stamp at the back of the invitation, which I'll show you guys how everything is gonna look like. I also bought a hot glue gun off of Amazon to be able to seal the flower on the back. I've got extra glue here, and I have almost like fake wax seals for the front of the invitation. And then there is some ribbons to wrap around the invitation, some vellum jackets to put the invitation inside, and then I have dried baby breaths. Pretty much this cost me, I want to say maybe like less than $200, because the actual invitation for 100 invitations cost $63, and I can only order them in increments, so like 25, 50, and 100. So yeah, that's pretty much my invitations. So I will start assembling my invitations. I'm gonna start assembling my invitations while I talk about the things that I am going to do and not do for my wedding. Hopefully I can like multitask, because I also do not want to mess up. Okay, so I'm tired today. Today's Monday. It's just been a very crazy, lazy weekend of doing things but also not doing things. We were doing a wedding registry, and we also went wedding ring shopping, or wedding band shopping. I'm gonna have, so this is what my engagement ring looks like, if it can focus. I'm a very simple girly, if you guys know me. So that's what my engagement ring looks like. Just a gold band with literally a ring on top. Before I go into the wedding bands, the diamond is my fiance's mom's diamond, and that was very special for them to give that to me, because it's like an heirloom, you know. And the grandmother is not with us anymore, so it's very nice and very sentimental. But they created, and when I say they, I mean my fiance's mom and him basically worked together to create my engagement ring. They went to the jeweler and they made my ring. They did not buy a ring. They made my ring. They had raw materials and they just took it to the jeweler, and the jeweler, Brian showed the jeweler like one of the rings on my Pinterest board, because I was like, I want a ring that, of course you're gonna share what kind of rings you're into, right? You don't want to get anything too crazy, or you don't want him to get anything too crazy. So one of the Pinterest photos is exactly this ring, or my ring, and they had it made exactly to look like that. So that's kind of nice. But anyways, so yeah, we went this weekend to go wedding band shopping, because I wanted to look what other options are out there in addition to my engagement ring, because I'm gonna put, I'm thinking of having like a diamond. I'm sorry, I'm hungry and I'm trying to get this done, and I feel like I am spiraling. I want a gold band. So we're gonna put a gold band, and I think we're gonna have another band that is full of diamonds around. So then I would have like 3 rings, a gold band and a diamond band, and then my engagement ring. So it will all be kind of like a set, and it's gonna look so pretty. Like, I like how, because I thought it was gonna be too much and I just was gonna do only gold band, but I think I like how they look all together. So I think I might do that. If not, I might just stick with the gold band and my engagement ring, and then those will be, you know, like a little combo. But I don't know, we're still deciding. But anyways, let's talk about the things that I'm gonna do and not do for the wedding. First things first is I wanted to first elope, but then I was like, no, eloping is kind of like, we don't want eloping, we want to celebrate with people. So then it was going to be an intimate wedding, or I wanted an intimate wedding. It was going to be out of the question to have an intimate wedding, because I was thinking like 40 people max, maybe 20 people, and I'm good. I'm very private. I'm content with small crowds like that, especially if it pertains to my life, but that was not the case. So right now our guest list is 150 people, and I lost that battle, so, which is fine, because most of them are genuinely truly family and close friends. So yeah, so we're gonna be having a interfaith wedding. So we're gonna incorporate both cultures. First things first is we don't have a ring bearer, because we are missing a ring bearer, or in lieu of a ring bearer, we are going to have a ring warming like ceremony. So instead of the ring bearer bringing the ring to the front, we're gonna have rings travel through I think it's just gonna be family only. We're just gonna have it travel through the family members for them to bless it, pray over it, warm our rings, however you want to interpret that. But that's gonna be kind of like like in lieu of a ring bearer, we're gonna do a ring warming prayer blessing. And then I guess the next thing that I'm doing for my wedding that I will not be compromising is, I've already mentioned it, invitations. I wanted to have invitations. We could do it the cheaper way, because the way I was quoted crazy amounts just to make an invitation for a company to make my wedding invitation was crazy. So I'm glad I was able to do that on a budget. The next thing is a must for our wedding. My battery is dying. Let me replace my battery. Alrighty, I replaced. The next thing that we are doing is I'm gonna have a second dress. I wanna have a second dress. It's funny because I didn't want a big wedding, but now that we're having a big wedding, I'm like, I'm gonna do the things that I kind of always wanted to do. So I'm gonna have a second dress for the reception, and part of that is that we're having a first dance, and our first dance together as Mr. and Mrs. Davis will be, it's not gonna be like a slow dance. I'm not gonna reveal it because y'all will just have to wait for the wedding video, but I'm just gonna end it at that. I'm having a second dress. And the next thing that I really want to incorporate in our wedding is having a moment alone together after we are married. I want to say in most Orthodox or conservative Jewish marriages or weddings, typically after you get married, they give you some time alone to kind of like break the fast and spend time together as the newlyweds. So I think that's something that I do want to incorporate, just because I feel like the day is gonna fly so quickly and I want to be able to at least have a moment with my husband. Okay, the next thing, which I'm still doing but kind of like not doing, is I did not want to have kids at the wedding. No kids. This is the adult celebration. I don't want people running around there, like running around after their children, not enjoying it. But we're kind of gonna have kids, but they're gonna be over a certain age because they're part of the family. I guess we are having kids, but under a certain age or over a certain age. So yeah. Another thing that I'm not gonna compromise on, or something that I'm doing, is getting a videographer and a photographer, and our photographer is also gonna create content as well. This is just a package that she had. It's not anything it's not anything specific. It's not something specific that I wanted. It's just something that was in her wedding package, and I was like, why not? Just to have those that the videographer might not be able to capture. And then I am getting a coordinator. I planned pretty much the whole wedding myself, which I am very flabbergasted that I was able to pull it off. But at some point I started getting really overwhelmed. So I was like, I need to get a coordinator and I need help. So I'm glad that I got a coordinator, and they're gonna help the flow of the wedding go so much better, so much smoother. I do not want to be talking to anyone that day about where should this go. The coordinator is going to handle all of that stuff. So I think getting a coordinator was a good idea. Yeah, if there's any advice I would give to any bride, is get a planner / coordinator. I am very hands-on like that I wanted to plan the wedding. But if you know that's not your strong suit, please get help. Please find someone professional to help you. Because having family members chime in and tell you what to do and what not to do, this is your day. Your day should be exactly how you want it. And that's that. So let's see. Okay, I guess that's on the don't list. One thing I'm doing is we're gonna have a registry, and it's gonna have specific things on there that we want. I don't want to leave it vague for anyone. I want you to know exactly what we want. Granted, your presence is the best present. But if you do want to gift something, then there is a registry with items on there. Let's go to the don'ts section. So things that I will not be doing on my wedding day. I'm not gonna do a bouquet toss. Like, why should we do that? I don't see the significance of doing that. No, I want to keep my bouquet. If anything, I want to dry my flowers from my bouquet. So I will not be doing a bouquet toss. And why are we fighting over bouquet? Like, come on now. No, let's be classy. Granted, I've never been to a wedding, but these are just things that I just feel like are kind of distasteful. If you want to do that, great. I'm just not gonna be doing it. The next thing that I will not be doing, and let me just Google it to make sure that I'm gonna say this right. The next thing I will not be doing is a garter toss. Why are you removing something off of my leg with your teeth in front of your mother and your grandmother? Like, no, we're not doing that. And that's that. I don't need to elaborate more on that. We're moving on. The next thing I am not doing is splurging on decorations. I'm trying to cut this thing. Oops. I will not be spending money on decorations, okay? We're getting married at the botanical gardens. I feel like the garden in itself is decorations enough. It's very much nature forward. We do not need to be adding anything else to that. We will let the nature and the garden speak for itself and need to, shine in its own way. And also it's because decorations is an additional cost that costs money. Having, chairs that look a certain aesthetic, tables that look a certain aesthetic, linens that aren't just white. I mean, who's really going to be paying attention to, oh, you had white linens for your wedding. Okay, so what? Napkins that are a certain design. I'm trying to think there was a company that was selling me like the most luxurious napkins. Italian napkins. This is sapphire. I can't remember. Whatever. People are gonna be wiping their mouths with the napkin. So why do I need to get the best of the best? You know what I mean? To me, that doesn't make sense. And if you can afford it, do it, queen. I'm just not gonna be doing it. Next thing I'm not gonna be having or doing is having a bridal party. I'm not gonna be having bridesmaids. He's not gonna be having groomsmen. I feel like it's just an extra job for me to manage my bridal party. Figuring out who's buying the bridesmaids dresses, makeup for them, hair for them, getting bouquets for them. That's an additional cost that I, one, don't feel like I can afford, and two, I don't feel like I want to put my bridesmaids in a position to buy their own dresses as well. So I will not be having a bridal party, and most of the people that I would want in my bridal party anyways aren't here. So that's that. So, and then another thing that I will not be doing is going into debt for this wedding. I feel like we're already over budget, but we can do it. Weddings in America are very, very expensive. If you look at the average cost for a wedding, we are there, okay? One last thing that I will not be doing or doing is I am walking myself down the aisle. I do not want anyone to walk me down the aisle but myself. It's just something that I feel strongly about. I'm not gonna have my dad walk me down the aisle just like other brides do, and that's fine. You know, he's not in my life like that, and that is absolutely okay. So that's why I want to walk myself down the aisle, because I feel like I genuinely worked my arse off to be in this position today, and I only have myself to lean on. I only had myself to lean on for a lot of the times in my adulthood, and I feel like I want to give that to myself. Also because I'm gonna look drop dead gorgeous, and I want everybody to take it all in. So let me think, what else am I leaving? I'm not sure. This is on the I'm not sure list. I'm not sure if we are going to do a first look. I want the first time he lays eyes on me to be me walking down the aisle. We have certain things that we need to do before, like in the Jewish culture, people have a ketubah. A ketubah is, which I'm not going to get into because I feel like there's a part of like Judaism and being Jewish that I'm still learning, so I don't want to say things incorrectly, but a ketubah is a Jewish contract, a wedding contract, a marriage contract that people sign before getting married, and we're gonna have one made. And I want to say too, it's like a decorative thing that you hang in your house. If we do a first look, it would be because we need to sign that while getting married under the chuppah, which is another Jewish thing that done at Jewish weddings. A chuppah is basically like a canopy to symbolize a start of a new home, and it's gonna be so beautiful. I cannot wait. I literally cannot wait. Today, as I film this, it's literally 62 days until wedding day, and I feel like I have not locked in on wedding glow up, bridal glow up things, and I need to lock in. Like, one thing that I'm also not going to be doing is pressuring myself to lose weight and to look a certain way, and yes, I will do a bridal glow up days leading up to, but I am not going to force myself to lose X amount of weight so I can fit in my dress. I already have my dress, I fit into my dress, and I just need to make sure like I look toned and good. We get this inflammation down, but other than that, like, you gonna accept me as I am, boo, with the weight or without the weight, okay? So that's that. I'm so hungry right now, and I need to go to the post office and but yeah, that's pretty much the things that I'm gonna be doing and not doing for my wedding. I'm so excited and I can't wait to share more, okay? So this is just the beginning. But yeah, love you guys. Bye.
1, 2, 3.